The 2022 Royal Air Force Solo Rescue, it's the Red Arrow! As I said, that team arrive in wall formation. It is 200 to 300 feet apart from left wing tip to right wing tip. And Red 1 pulling up into the first loop. That means he has decided to take the show full. They reach a height of over 5,500 feet. They collapse from wall shape into 8 arrow. All the aircraft now starting to accelerate as they twist round to the left. Bringing the team round to the left is Red 1. That is squad leader Tom Bold. He is in his third and final year on the team, having also been in the team in 2014 to 16, where he was the synchro leader. Tom has also flown Typhoon on operations. He is a former qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T-Mark II and the Tucano, where he was the Tucano display pilot in 2010. Tom continues to bring the team round to the left, and the smoke comes on for the 8 Arrow presents. Keep your eye on the team for a dynamic shape change. As Red 7 and 8 perform a roll back and roll into Vixen formation. The team move round to the right, and you can now see them in Vixen formation. Of course, we would be normally in our Diamond 9 formation, with number 9 would be at the back. However, this year we are only displaying as an 8 shift, and that is due to training and supervision. We can only train 3 new pilots each year, and the maths simply didn't work out. However, we hope to be back at our Diamond 9 trademark formation for our 60th, our own Diamond Jubilee next year in 2024. However, as they come round to the right, once again, get your hammers ready for the Vixen roll. As the team rolls to the left on the right hand side of Red 1 closest in is Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Rich Walker. Rich is an extremely experienced pilot. He has flown operations on both the Harrier and the Typhoon. He's also a former qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T-Mark II. There are 8 pilots in the display, as I've just discussed. There's myself, Red 10, former Tornado GR4 pilot and qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T-Mark II. And we also have Officer Commanding Rafat, that's Wing Commander Adam Collins, Red 11. He is also with me here today. A former Tornado GR4 pilot has also flown the F-111 while on exchange with the Royal Australian Air Force, and he flew the Hawk T-Mark I and the Aggressor role with the 100 Squadron. Looking out front now, you can see Reds 4 and 5, the smokers on as they make their way to the rear of the formation, as they continue to come round to the right. For the first of our space-themed shapes, as they pull up for the Apollo loop. Once again, the team pulling up at over 400 miles per hour, pulling up at 4G, and they'll reach a height of over 5,500 feet. The aircraft now slowing to approximately 110 to 120 miles per hour, which means the controls of the aircraft aren't as reactive, meaning the formation keeping is even harder. Conversely, now they're accelerating through 200, 300 and back to that 400 miles per hour, where now the controls are a lot more reactive, meaning it's an extra skill level required by the pilots. They bend round to the left for the Apollo presents. On the left of Red 1 is Red 3, Flight Lieutenant Tom Hansford. He is in his first year on the team, a former Typhoon pilot and qualified weapons instructor. This means he taught all weapon technicals and frontline tactics to the entire Typhoon force. The smoke comes on from Reds 2 and 3 as the whole centre section make their way rearwards. With Reds 4 and 5 all the way back, this makes it extremely more difficult because we take all our formation references from Red 1 and not necessarily the aircraft that is closest on the inside or outside view. As the smoke comes on for the second of our space theme shapes, this is Eagle. Apollo from the Apollo space missions and the second from the Eagle landing craft. As the Royal Air Force acknowledges that space plays an important part in future operations, and UK Space Command was formed in 2023. Reds 4 and 5 smoke as they move up alongside Reds 2 and 3. And in May 2023, the Royal Air Force celebrated the 80th anniversary of the famous mission in Germany in World War II to take out those dams, which of course was carried out by 617, the Dam Buster Squadron, who fly in today's Royal Air Force with the 5th generation F-35 as the team pull up for the lightning roll. As the team roll to the left, on the far right hand side uppermost is Red 4, Flight Lieutenant Ollie Suckling. Once again in his first year on the team, a former Tornado GR4 pilot, a former Hawk T2 qualified flying instructor. Those familiar with the Airshow circuit will also know Ollie as a pilot of the North Wales based Strike Master pair around the Airshow circuit. All the pilots must have 1,500 fast jet hours and be assessed as above average before they can apply to join the team. They go through a rigorous selection process involving interviews, mock media interviews, a flying test and peer review. Those individuals are selected down to the final 3 and they will make the new pilots for each year join the team towards the end of this season. Red 7 has now moved to the left, Red 8 has moved to the right as they form Signet, our first big wing theme shape. As the smoke comes on, the team will reverse around to the left for the Signet present. In some of those radio transmissions you may have heard the way Red 1 gives his verbal commands to the rest of the team. It's almost robotic and monotone in the way it's delivered. And that's because the team are listening out to Red 1 for those commands, and we fly our formation by ear, not just by eye. And it means that the guys on the outside of the team are putting their input in a lot earlier than the guys on the inside, and that enables the whole formation to move as one rather than the ripple effect down the wing. As the team now move round to the right, you can see 7 and 8 dropping in trail on the rest of the formation. As the team get themselves ready to perform the most popular, if not the most popular manoeuvre that we fly in this year's show. If you get your cameras ready, you do not want to miss this. As the team come in from the right, they ride the storm. This is the Tornado! Smoke comes on, Red 7 and 8 aboard, and they start their roll as Red 7 and 8 roll around the rest of the formation. You can see the drift in the aircraft really struggling with that on-crow wind that we talked about earlier on. The red smoke, the blue smoke comes on as Red 7 and 8 continue the roll, and Red 1 brings the formation around to the right, making those rolls conducted by 7 and 8 even more difficult. You may be able to see the aircraft are flying with their air brakes out. The front section has a small door at the bottom of the aircraft towards the rear. What this does, it means that the pilots are flying with a higher throttle setting. This means it produces a hotter engine gas temperature, and it means the smoke burns a lot more brightly. In addition, that air brake at the bottom of the aircraft, it disturbs the airflow out the back of the aeroplane, and it makes the smoke billow a lot fuller and enhances some of the manoeuvres that we use in the display. As we come to the end of the first half, so far you've seen a dynamic display involving all 8 aircraft. As we go into the second half, the team will now split into 2 distinct sections. You have Reds 1 through 5. They are now known as Enid, named after Enid Blyton's famous 5 from her children's series books. And you have Reds 6, 7 and 8. They are now known as Hannah, named after squad leader Ray Hannah, one of the 4 first members of the Red Arrows. He was also attributed of taking the team from a 7 to a 9 in the early days, and also attributed as forming our famous Diamond 9 formation. However, look directly to your front, get your cameras ready for the second half, the dynamic, the fast, the heart pumping, the jaw dropping. Please get your hands together for the detonator! Enid breaking first, followed by Hannah. We now have red 6 off to the left, red 7 off to the right, and red 8 up over the top. Red 6 leads the synchro pair, that is red 6 and 7. They pull up to approximately 30 degrees, they will roll, and before they turn back towards the display line. As they turn hard towards the display line, they will drop down to just over 100 feet above the sea. They will have a closing speed of over 800 miles per hour, and they will pass within only 100 feet of each other. Leading the team from the left-hand side is red 6, squad leader James Turner. He's in his 4th year on the team, a former Typhoon pilot and instructor, and a former qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T-Mark 1. The team passed within only 100 feet of each other, perform a 4-point aileron roll, and now turn hard away from the display line, pulling up to 5-6G as they complete the manoeuvre called Cyclone.
I know.
As the synchro pair leave directly to our front, coming in from the right hand side is red 8 at over 450 miles per hour. He puts the blue smoke on. And up to your far left hand side you can see Enid now in inverted V as red 8 lines up with Enid to perform the goose. Red 1 gathers Enid, the blue, the red, the white smoke is on. As they pass, you'll be able to see underneath the aircraft a small tank. Looks like a fuel tank, that's actually the smoke pod. That smoke pod is capable of producing 5 minutes of white smoke, 1 minute of red smoke, and 1 minute of blue smoke. Each of those colours is selectable by its own individual button on the pilot's control column. And during winter training, red 1 and red 6 ensure that that smoke plan works for the display. The synchro pair pulling up with red 7 in trail. Unfortunately the cloud is in the way. They will part, and unfortunately they are performing the synchro heart. You'll only get the bottom half of it, unfortunately. Unfortunately, you can only see the bottom half of the heart. The cloud is actually covering the part, and you can just see red 8 there spearing the heart from top left to bottom right. The synchro pair now back up on the 1,000 feet. They'll be coming in this time from the right and left. Once again diving down to 100 feet and over 800 miles per hour closure. They'll perform a series of barrel rolls in a manoeuvre called the double roll. As the synchro pair leave to our rear, coming in from the front right, Enid formation start to climb up with the white smoke on, with red 8 now joining in trail on red 1. The blue and the red come on as they perform a series of barrel rolls through the sky, leaving a snake-like smoke trail in the sky. This is Python! As the aircraft pass, you can see the iconic shape of the Hawk aircraft. The Hawk has been in service with the Royal Air Force since 1976 and has been with the Royal Air Force since 1979. It can climb up to 48,000 feet. It can go supersonic, that's faster than the speed of sound in a dive. And ask any of the pilots that have flown the Hawk T-Mark 1, and we attribute it to a very small sports car, very agile, extremely manoeuvrable, great fun to fly, and is extremely the right aircraft for what we want to do with the Red Arrows. However, as Enid leaves to our front left, keep looking to the right and looking to the left for the synchro pair running back into the display line. This time Red 7 will be coming in from the left, smoking red, and Red 6 coming in from the right, smoking blue. Once again, over 100 feet above the sea, over 800 miles per hour closure, passing only 100 feet in the middle of the display line. Each aircraft performs an aileron roll. Red 6 say pull, go now, as each aircraft now pull 5 to 6 as they pull up. 5 to 6 G, that means everything about them is now weighing 5 to 6 times heavier than what you and I are as we stand on the promenade. They reach a height of over 2,500 feet. They're 60 degrees, nose inverted down as they capture the 100 feet, as they complete manoeuvre called boomerang. As the synchro pair leave to our rear, look to your far left hand side and Enid running in from the distance. The white smoke is on. As once again Red 1 pulls Enid up at 400 miles per hour 4G. This year we celebrated the coronation of His Majesty King Charles III, and in honour of that coronation, get your cameras ready for the Enid Coronation Vertical Break. Coming in from the right hand side, you've got Hannah. That's Red 6, 7 and 8 once again. Red 6, white smoke comes on. He rolls inverted. And he calls for Red 7 and 8 to roll as Red 7 and 8 roll around the smoke from Red 6. Red 7, smoking blue, is Flight Lieutenant Stu Roberts. Stu is in his second year on the team. Red 2 from last year, ex-former Typhoon pilot with 12 and 11 Squadron at RAF Country. Smoking red is Red 8, Flight Lieutenant David Simmons, known as Simo, former Tornado GR4 pilot where he flew the roll demo in 2010. He's also flown the Harrier and the F5 while on exchange with the United States Marine Corps. As Hannah leaves to the left, look to your right hand side. Once again, Enid running back in with their white smoke on trail. 2 and 3 roll goers, roll 2 and 3 roll around the outside of the formation. Clear go is the comm as Reds 4 and 5 roll around the outside of 2 and 3. In one of the hardest manoeuvres for our new pilots to master each year, this is the rollbacks. As I said earlier, there are 10 pilots on the team. However, the Red Arrows is not just about the pilots. We have over 140 personnel on the team. And those extra personnel are known as the Blues. They are the engineers, the support personnel, and some of them are our PR tent. And without them, we simply wouldn't be able to do what we do. Look directly to your front with Hannah running back in. Roll goes Red 7-8, roll around the red smoke of Red 6. Once again, get your cameras ready for the Hannah Vortex break. Once again, Red 6 off to the left, Red 7 off to the right, Red 8 up over the top. The synchro pair will pull up to again must be 1,000 feet before diving back down to their display line for their final manoeuvre of the show. They will perform a series of barrel rolls and inverted flight to leave the display area in a manoeuvre called crossbow.
There it comes. It's coming here. And that was from that side.
Look directly to your front once again. You can see Enid running back in with the white smoke in trail. The red smoke comes on from red 1 as he rolls around the formation, leaving the infinity symbol in the sky for the infinity break. However, Blackpool, I'm glad the weather played ball. Please put your hands together for the 2023 Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team. It's the Red Arrow!